Hi everyone, it's Noushin. Welcome back to you all and thank you so much for being here. I am the most excited I've ever been doing a video because I am gonna do my first tag. Yes, I've been tagged. It is so exciting for me. My friend so Carey on, and her name is Carey, and that is C-A-R-E-Y, and her channel is So Carey On, has tagged me. She lives all the way in USA, and we've been YouTube friends for a good few months now. She's absolutely adorable. I mean, if you just watch one of her videos once, you are hooked. She's sweet, kind, generous, inside and out. And all the names I mention and all the channels I mention, I will put in the description box. And please go and watch them all and subscribe because these ladies are all wonderful and extremely inspiring. I always tell Carey that she's my nail guru because I used to be lazy about my nails, and she's inspired me to start doing my nails. Of course, today I haven't, but that's only because I'm gonna have my nails done tomorrow, treated myself. I'm actually going out to have it done, so that's why I don't have nail polish on. But thank you so much, Carey, for tagging me in. To me, this is actually a very wonderful tag. It's called the throwback tag. And I felt quite emotional in some point with some questions because it makes you think about your past and it makes you think about your childhood. But thank you so much, Carey. Thank you, thank you. Before I start doing the tag myself, number one, I'm tagging everyone. Anybody who wants to do this, please go ahead and do it. Because as I said, I think it's a very sentimental, beautiful tag to do. However, I've got few names that I would like to mention that I'm tagging now. If I could tag everyone, there would be 200 names that I could tag, and I can't do that. But these ladies that I'm going to mention, again, they've been so supportive. I have learned so much from these ladies and their channels. They are inspirational. They are all over 40 ladies with families, and I just love watching them. I listen to them. I wait for the next videos that they're going to put on. I look forward to their posts. We communicate a lot, and I can say that I look at them as my friends. Okay, I'm just going to give you the names first of the ladies I'm tagging. And please, I apologize in advance if I'm pronouncing your names not the correct way. However, as I said, I will put all the names and all the channels down below in the descriptions. Please watch them all and subscribe because they are all wonderful. You will fall in love with them as much as I have. Right, so these are the ladies. I'm going to start with Melissa. That's Melissa VILLANUEVA. Then RANALYNN. RANALYNN lives in Hawaii. I love you. Then MARTA Laura ZAYAS. And another one, KARASKORNER. And last but not least, Melinda from Pigsty Atelier. As I said, my apologies for slaughtering your surnames, but we've got Melissa, RANALYNN, MARTA Laura, Melinda, and KARASKORNER. So thank you so much. Oh, and one, oh, I love this lady. I found her only a few weeks ago, and that's Dawn's Life Over 40. Dawn, you're tagged. You're all tagged. And if I have failed to mention your names, you're all tagged. Do this. Okay, now to the first question. As I said, the tag is called throwback tag. So number one, what year were you born? I was born in 1963 and my birthday is in October. So in a couple of months' time, I will be 54 years old. 2. Do you have any pictures of yourself when you were younger? And if so, please show them. Now, I don't have any pictures of myself at the moment because I've got a twin brother that lives in London, and my twin brother has got twins. He's got a boy and a girl, and they are absolutely adorable. So I had some pictures, not a lot, but I did have some pictures, but they were doing a school project. So the last time we were in London, I took the pictures for them to include in their school project, and they are in Corsica for 2 weeks holiday, so I couldn't even ask them to post it over. So I don't have any pictures of me as a child, but I am going to show you some pictures. Okay, this is a picture of me and my son. I was 29 years old here. I've got only one son and he's 25. So that's me and that is my son. He was about 6 months old and I had just turned 29. Dark hair, bob and a fringe. Sorry, I dropped my glasses. Then, this is a picture of my twin brother, again with my son. You see how handsome he is. My twin brother is gorgeous. We are so close. And there is just 2 of us, just me and him. This is a picture of my parents on their honeymoon in Persia. I am Persian and I was born in Tehran. So that's the picture of my parents on the honeymoon. I'm just going to show one more picture because this is my uncle and at the moment he's not very well. So this picture is about 10 years ago. This is me and my uncle in Persia, in Tehran. This is taken in his garden, in his home. So they're not pictures of my childhood, but they are some pictures. Number 3, which TV shows did you grow up watching? Right, I grew up in Persia, in Tehran. So we had a lot of our own Persian TV shows. However, Iran is a very international country. So what I grew up watching, which absolutely adored, and I just couldn't wait to get home from school to sit in front of the TV and watch this, where I Dream of Jeannie, Bewitched, and the Osmond variety show. Me and my brother were hooked on Osmond variety show and all the usual cartoons. And as we grew up a little bit more, things like the Waltons, love the Waltons, Star Trek, absolutely love the Star Trek and things like that. But we did have our own Persian TV shows that we watched as well. 4, what did you want to be when you grew up, and do you still want to be that? Now, when I was growing up, I wanted to be whatever my brother wanted to be. So if he said, I'm going to be a pilot, I would say, I want to be a pilot. If he wanted to be an astronaut, I wanted to be an astronaut. If he wanted to be a gardener, I wanted to be a gardener. So anything he wanted to be, I wanted to be. But I clearly remember, which is really, really odd, that I wanted to be a footballer. And as you can clearly see, I haven't become one. But I really wanted to become a footballer. Because obviously having a twin brother, our household was filled with girls and guys. And football is a Persian national sport, and we are very passionate about it. So they would forever be playing football, so I'll be playing with them. So that's the one thing I really wanted to be a footballer. Number 5, show a video of yourself when you were younger. I don't have a video of myself when I was younger. There were no videos then. What were your favorite toys to play with? Of course, I loved all the usuals. I loved dolls and China dolls. I had lots and lots of cuddly toys. I loved my cuddly toys. Whether they were horses or rabbits or little hens or chicks or bears, I loved. But what I really enjoyed doing was cycling. I loved cycling. Every day I would get my bike and cycle. So that's, I would say, was one of my biggest hobby, to cycle. And we also had a table tennis table. And my dad was a fantastic sportsman. He was a fantastic swimmer. He was a fantastic diver. He was actually semi-professional diver when he was a teenager. He loved all the racket sports. So we grew up with a lot of sports around us. Then, what's the most embarrassing event you remember? Now, this is not an event. This is the thing that apparently I used to do. I don't remember. But my mom always told this story. That because we were twins, me and my brother, we used to attract a lot of attention. So if we ever went anywhere, or we were in a hotel or a restaurant or just walking into shops, people used to kind of stop us and talk to my mom and say, "Oh, aren't they adorable? Isn't she lovely? Isn't he lovely?" And my mom said, she doesn't know why, but every time anybody paid me a compliment, I was very young, okay? But every time anybody paid me a compliment, I would pull my skirt up and try to show them my bum. My mommy used to say, I used to dread people saying, "Oh, aren't they lovely? Isn't she beautiful?" She said, because I knew what was coming. A skirt will go up and you would kind of show off a little bit. She says, "You just did it, you know." And she said, I tried not to make too much out of it. And I can say, thankfully, I grew out of it years ago. So that was embarrassing. Not so much to me, I don't think, because I don't remember. I think that was embarrassing to my mom. So there we go. Read something you wrote when you were in kindergarten. Now, I don't have anything that I wrote when I was in kindergarten. However, I do have a drawing that I did of myself when I was in kindergarten, and I don't know why my mom just kept this. Hold on. So this is me. This is how I saw myself when I was in kindergarten. So, so my mom kept it. So this is the only thing, one of the only things that I have really. I did have very, very long, thick black hair to my waist, if not lower. I had amazing hair when I was younger. So it's not a writing, but it's a drawing. 3 songs you loved listening to as a child. Now, again, growing up in Persia, I listened to, Persian rhymes. However, my mom used to get up every morning and put the recorder on. You know, recorder, yes, vinyls. And she used to listen to Tom Jones. She used to listen to Beatles. And she was a massive fan of Doris Day. So she used to sing Que Sera Sera all the time. She loved listening to Beatles. And one of the songs that I remember from childhood is Yesterday. And of course, Tom Jones, you know, What's Up Pussycat. So I grew up listening to those kind of pop songs. But of course, we had our own that I listened to and I like, and we had our own, you know, pop stars that we loved. So yeah. Number 10. What was one funny thing you dressed up in Halloween? Now, we didn't have Halloween in Iran. We do now, but back then we didn't have Halloween. But if there was any opportunity of dressing up, I would want to dress up, of course, as a footballer, or kind of like a tomboyish. I'll be a footballer, or I wanted to be the devil. Never wanted to be an angel. Yeah, but not really dressing up. Number 11. Tell us a funny story of something you remember as a child. Okay, this is a funny story. It's naughty, funny story. I remember I hated soup. Just didn't like soup as a child. And I remember this particular time I was really poorly. I suppose I had the flu because I was kept at home. I was probably about 5 or 6 and I wasn't going to kindergarten, because we start school at the age of 6. I was kindergarten age, but we were going full time, but I was kept at home. And my mom kept making me chicken soup, and I hated chicken soup. And my bed was a wooden frame with a mattress, so it was a wooden frame on legs. And there was a suitcase underneath my bed. One of those old-fashioned large fabric suitcases. And, you know, I kept all sorts of things in there, you know, toys, coloring book, pencils, you know, things like that. And this massive suitcase, I had one and my brother had one, and it was under our bed. So every time my mom brought the chicken soup, and I was only about 5 or 6, oh my God, I used to kind of pretend I'm kind of eating it in front of her, and then she'd leave me to it. And then I poured the chicken soup from the back of the bed. And it used to go and sit on top of the suitcase. And a few days later, when my mom was cleaning, and she pulled the suitcase to clean under the bed, she thought, what is this? It was like a pool of jelly. This jelly fat thing that had just sat there on top of the suitcase. And then she thought, oh my God, this is the chicken soup that she would. I'm sorry, I was naughty, I think. I was naughty, but I just didn't want to eat the chicken soup. I wasn't in trouble. I wasn't. I think she secretly was laughing inside. She was trying to be angry, but I know she wasn't. I think she thought it was quite funny herself. So that's one thing I remember. Do you have anything special that you kept as a child? I don't have anything that I kept as a child because it's a long story. I left Iran quite quickly without my parents. I'm not getting into that now. So I didn't really have anything memorable that I could keep or I brought with me. But I've kept something of my mom's that I remember as a child that she used to wear. And I'm going to show it to you. These earrings, these are China. Made of China, handmade earrings that she used to wear and she loved. And I just loved these earrings and I wanted these earrings. So as a child, she gave it to me. So when I was leaving Tehran, I brought these with me because it just reminded me so much of my mom. I love these earrings. I'm actually going to put it on now. It doesn't go with my necklace, but I don't care. I'm going to wear it. There you are. So these are my mom's earrings, and it reminds me of her. Unfortunately, we lost our mom when we were 25 years old, and she was only 51. So that was sad. Anyhow, what was something weird that you did as a child? Right, now this is weird. I used to love to lay down on ceramic floors. God, that was weird. I was so weird. Why was I so weird? So our kitchen was ceramic tiles. And what I loved as a child was to take my clothes off, not underwear, not panties, but take my clothes off and lay on top of this ceramic floor. I would want as much contact with my skin as I possibly can, and I used to put my face on and lay on it on my back, lay on it on my tummy. I just loved the feel of that smooth, cold ceramic tiles on my skin. So that was pretty weird, I think. What was the scariest thing you remember as a child? As a child, there are two very scary things I remember. One of them is pretty scary, which I'm not going to talk about. I might do a separate video on it actually. But what I remember as a child scary was earthquake. I remember being on an earthquake in Tehran, and we were young. I just remember my mom grabbing us and my dad, you know, and just running out of. We didn't know what was happening. I don't even remember anything shaking, but when I look back, of course it was, and actually it was quite a bad earthquake. I just remember being grabbed and just run out of the house in such a hurry, and you know, nobody should run out. And then I remember seeing everyone, the whole neighborhood, in the middle of the road, in the middle of the street. And then kind of it was explained to us that it was an earthquake and what an earthquake was. So that was one of the scariest things I remember. But thank God, everybody was fine. Last question. How is the world different now to what it was as you grew up? Well, I think we all know the answer to this. It is so different. I loved my childhood. I enjoyed my childhood. I'm not saying they don't, but for me, my childhood was going to school, coming home and going out and just playing on bikes, going to parks, spending 3 months of the summer by the sea in Caspian Sea in the north of Iran, going to the beach morning, coming home at night. I used to be mahogany color, and I mean mahogany color. We lived in water. Now it is different with all the technology. I mean, I'm on YouTube now. So with all the technology, a lot of things are done indoors. We're not outdoorsy as much, and I think that's what I miss and our children miss the most. Thank you so much for listening to all this. I hope I didn't bore you too much. Thank you so much again, my beautiful Carey, for tagging